If you watched the first video, you know I am recounting the year and going through some of my favorite games of the year. First up, I had disappointing games, and now I'm going to go through my top 10 weirder games of the year. These are the games that I wanted to give tribute to, that I really, really liked, but they weren't good enough, or I felt that they had a lot of problems to them, so they maybe shouldn't go to the best games, although I could argue why they're good. There's a couple, you'll see why as I explain it, but I figured I should get some kind of tribute, at least for a little bit. This is just an excuse for me to have 20 of my favorite games of the year and just call it something else. As I get weird, let's get into these weird games. Let's go. So up first we have Trigger Happy Havoc Danganronpa, or backwards, however you want to say it. I'm just going to include this first game here, even though 2 games came out this year, Trigger Happy Havoc, and then of course Goodbye Despair. But of those 2, Danganronpa, the first one, was my favorite of the 2, but they're both really good. Anyway, so it's about these kids going to this ultimate school of professional stuff, and then they wind up being locked in there by this evil teddy bear, and he's like, you should kill each other in order to get out of here, and only one of you can do it. It is basically Battle Royale meets Phoenix Wright with the gameplay and stuff. And it's really cool. It's an awesome story. Like, it's so addictive. It was a very surprise thing for me to come across, and it was awesome for NIS to provide it to me. And it was just like one of those things that it was the first game that they gave me that I didn't request. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll play it. And then I was like, holy crap, this game is super awesome. And no one's gonna play it because 1, on the Vita, and 2, it's called Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. It sucks, but that's why it's on this list, so I can give credit where credit is due, and you can read my review as well to really summarize how awesome it is. But yeah, I love that game. Love it. Next game, not so much love, but it is super weird. It is the first EDF, Earth Defense Force game that I've played. Technically, it's the 4th one in the series. And, man, that is some B-movie shit. You play these, the Earth is being invaded by aliens and giant bugs and other crazy stuff, and you're these soldiers, like heavy soldiers, just normal soldiers. You go in mechs, you can be Valkyries and fly around the battlefield, which is my favorite class because it's more versatile and you can fly around and it's awesome. But you can like blow up buildings, like giant towers in the distance, and fight all these bugs, and it's glitchy as fuck. It's glitchy as fuck. I don't know how else to describe it. I was trying to be nice and not swear too much, but man, so glitchy. But it's one of those games where the glitches really don't matter. It's not game breaking. It plays fine, and jumping in online was some of the most fun I had online. Just going to random matches, going some random people, killing bugs. Just great. Just a wacky, fun experience. Just like Mercenary Kings. And this company has a pedigree for me because Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the video game, is one of my favorite games of all time. Not just the last generation, but really, it just captured my heart. This one, not so much, but I was looking forward to quite a bit. And it's basically Borderlands and Monster Hunter. And yes, I know I talked about the last thing that I did not like Monster Hunter games, but this one works. I love the art style. I love that there's barely any story, and the story that is there is very cleverly written, and just like some nice dialogue stuff. And it's repetitive, but it's awesome on good bursts, quick runs, and you can remote play on the Vita, and that's how I play a lot of the game. And it's just cool time killer, and it's great for friends. Even though like the co-op experience is weird because they're all windowed in weird ways, but still, it's worth checking out. Now, I love RPGs, and Ubisoft already had an awesome RPG prior to this, but Child of Light is this quirky little game that you can buy on the consoles as well as the Vita, which is how I played it because I think this game shines on the Vita, especially the watercolor visuals pop more. and it's just kind of a more intimate experience. And it is basically time-based battles, kind of more on the kind of Grandia, where there's like a timeline. Monsters attack. If you interrupt their attack, you can gain an extra turn, kind of sort of thing. And it's all about strategy and planning it out. And it's not really that hard that you really need to pay attention to that stuff. But it's just like a very whimsical experience that I think a lot of people probably missed out on, just because it wasn't a retail game, and it just kind of seems like what's childlike? What does that even mean? So, but it's definitely worth a shot. As well as Azure Striker Gunvolt. Now, for those clamoring for a Mega Man game, this is as close as you're gonna get until we have the big one, the Mighty Number 9, for it to come out. But Azure Striker Gunvolt, they previously made those Mega Man Zero games, so it's very much like that. Side scroller, you have lightning powers, taking down mutants. It's like X-Men. It's essentially X-Men. It's pretty awesome on the 3DS. Oh my gosh. An Akiba Strip, or Akiba Strip, however you want to pronounce it, it's very ambiguous because they want it to be said both ways, because it's a double entendre, because it's a trip to Akihabara, or it's a stripping part in Akihabara, where you're turned into a vampire type thing, and then you're recruited by another vampire type thing to kill these vampires. And how do you kill a vampire who can be in sunlight, and to protect themselves from sunlight they use special clothes? Well, that's right, you beat the shit out of them, and then you take off their clothes, and then they burst into like a big black ball of dust. It is very weird. Yes, both males and females, so it's not sexist, of course, and it's not super like out front with like the nudity and stuff, because there's no nudity. I'm just saying, it's like you have clothes and everyone's wearing appropriate bras and panties and underwear. Nothing's like, yeah, I'm gonna rip off this bra, or just the shirt so I can see its bra and like these awesome giant boobs. No, everyone has fairly small racks. It's not about that sexuality, it's just about how weird it is to rip off stuff, and just the idea of ripping off clothes is supposed to be attractive enough. I don't know if I'm selling this game or not. But let's just move on. Another game that is just basically fighting dudes, and I wouldn't say love, but I do like the Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors game. And when I saw that they're making a spin-off for Zelda, I was like, wow, for Nintendo to let them do this is pretty gnarly. And, playing it is very much the Dynasty Warriors games, but in the lens of Zelda. And, while they made some missteps, like, they could have had a better story, as much as those games aren't really about the story, and I thought it kind of looked bad in some places. Or at least the art style was like weird for like a Zelda game, and they could have really just fleshed it out in terms of like really showing how much love they wanted for Zelda, for different enemies, different bosses. It was weakened by some of those factors, just like the roster of characters. It was just like, man, these are obscure people, and yeah, okay, so they're for this pedigree of the company, it's not that surprising that it's not super stellar of a package for Hyrule Warriors. But for a Dynasty Warriors game based on Zelda, it's pretty damn good. If you like those games. Another Dynasty Warriors type game is Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus. And this game is all about ripping off girls' clothes as well, but they also zoom in on the tits. I'm sorry, that is super vulgar. They zoom in on the memories. That's even weirder. The jubblies, the bazongas, the whatever. And it's all about the sexuality, but it's also just a super fun action game where these rival ninja schools are just kicking the crap out of each other and then ripping clothes off, and it's just very cool. Story's really terrible, but whatever. It's just super stylistic action for the Vita, and it was really fun. I almost got onto my best list, but we'll get back to that. Now for something completely different in the terms of what I've been talking about, we have Jazzpunk, where This is definitely the weirdest game on the list, where it is another super short game, but appropriately priced, unlike certain Metal Gears. And you're basically like a secret agent, kind of, and you're going to these places to do missions. For me to talk about it would be spoiling, because the whole game is the humor, and it's published by Adult Swim, so that's what you're getting into if you're playing an Adult Swim game or someone that Adult Swim has approved. But I mean, you're finding decoder rings and like Captain Crunch, and you're throwing spires at people, and you're spitting goat milk out or pigeon milk out, and it's just, I don't want to spoil anything. Just play it. It is beyond weird, but also super funny, like just super clever, and it's just a nice homage to a lot of video games as well. And but last on the list, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Now, I kind of dabbled with the original Shantae game, and I thought, this is pretty sweet. So I was happy that WayForward and we got in touch with each other, and I reviewed this for them, and it was super awesome. It was the first game that they gave to me, I should say a review copy. I just want to be able to forward with that. But it is just it's Metroidvania-y, where you're playing this, I should say genie, and you're trying to work with this pirate girl, your like master rival, to stop an evil pirate ghost from resurrecting, and you're going to all these ruins, and it's just fun. It's just a puzzle platformer with RPG elements. Super good looking on the 3DS, and the music is really, really good too. It's just an awesome game, and I can't recommend it enough. But because it's on the 3DS and because it's called Shantae, it's just people might miss it. But if you like the last games and Metroid and WayForward in general, you really need to play it. But for my most obscure game of the year, it was really, really hard for me, because I sunk a lot of time into Senran Kagura. And I mean, all these games that I should make like a top 5 of which ones I think are like the best of the weirdest. But in terms of stuff that I really want people to play to experience, that was like the biggest surprise to me. Even though Shinobi Versus was like a super awesome to play and titillating, I think Danganronpa is just the weirdest thing, and it's just really, really good and addictive, and hell of an obscure game. So please, Vita owners, buy it, play it. If you like Phoenix Wright, play it. If you like light novel games, play it. If you like anime, play it. But by all no means, if you hate those things, don't not buy it. But I guess if you like text-based things and anime, maybe you should avoid it. But no, it is actually a legit good game. Just do it. Just please play it and support the developers. It's just an awesome game.